Hello, hello, good morning, good morning. How's my hair? Hair good? All right, who we have in here today? I'm seeing Spectra and Zombie and Aaron. Good morning. Hadron, Additive Adam, Happy's here. Great. Martin, good morning. Kittrell, good morning. Mike, and Talon, Steven, Clownhammer, Reth. Good morning, everyone. Robin, good morning. Cybertex here. Eddie, good morning. Happy Sunday, everybody. Hi, Reth. Yeah, good morning, everyone. Okay, not to beat around the bush too much, ready to get some progress going. There is a pinned filament giveaway to win a spool of LDO filament in the chat pinned at the top. Go ahead and get signed up for that. I'll try to remember to remind you guys as we go forward through stream. But at the end of the day, if you're not in there when we draw, you're gonna miss out. So don't miss out on filament. How was 3D Printopia for those that went? I didn't get to go, so I started watching a lot of other people's streams and videos and some of their content. Seemed like it was a good time. Topia was great. Okay, Additive Adam, you went. Additive Adam, what was the #1 top thing that you saw that you were really interested in? What was the best thing that you saw at the show? And then Happy, same question. What was the best thing you saw at the show? Those who didn't go missed out. I agree, Zombie. I just couldn't swing it. It's coast to coast for me, and that was not going to work out. I can't even go to Vice this year, so I'm a little down about that. But then 3D Printopia was never in the cards. Yeah, it's cool to see 23 people here in the first 5 minutes. That's pretty awesome. Thanks to everyone for showing up. I guess there's a lot of interest in getting this Prusawire finished. At least I am. I'm ready to get it done off the plate so I can put my 100% focus into the V0. But then if you were here on, what was it, Friday, we did a members stream where we looked at the RatRig V-Core and refreshed that one a little bit. So I spent about an hour this morning. Hit the like button, yeah, Reth. I spent about an hour this morning revisiting that V-Core and redoing the firmware on it. It seems to be fine. I haven't moved it yet because this stream needed to happen. So after stream, I'll be playing with that a little bit more. I caught you as you woke up, Mike. Yeah, thanks for doing those Dragon Burner LEDs. I'm excited to get those. Hey Marcus, good morning. Not to brag, but you've been here for an hour. How you been here for an hour? I haven't even been streaming for an hour. We weren't even live for an hour. But I appreciate you hanging out, just waiting. I wish there was like a waiting room that we could be in and accumulate some time. Adam liked the original creator's antithesis. Yep. And Layerworks, Kiss Your Mother. With that mouth PLA or tops. Yeah, I'm still trying to get my hands on some of that filament. I'm supposed to be on the Unspooled podcast this coming Tuesday. So if you're unfamiliar with that, go give those guys a follow at the Unspooled podcast. It's Moji and Layer by Layer. And I'm going to be their guest on Tuesday evening. So if you want a little more killer prints in your life, check them out. Robin B, you've been here since the last stream. Hey Jason, good morning. Derek, thanks for the gifted memberships. So looks like AGC and Desert Wolf, Icon, Dale, and GTR Dad are all members now, thanks to Derek. So thanks for that. No problem, just have to box them up and get them out. Hey, appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. I'm not looking to get back on the V0 until Sunday. So you have your spool. Adam, I'm still trying to figure out where to buy one. I want to try that stuff out. Those kinds of filaments are the things that my girls like, so I love printing them things with the multicolored and the rainbow, glow in the dark, glitter, all that kind of stuff. Hey, bearded printer. Gotta get more killing in my life. All right, sweet. So I got my positron shirt on this morning, and I guess that means we're gonna work on a Prusawire. So I think where we left off last week was over here. Let's make sure this, yeah, so it never shows up on first go. I don't know why that happens. Every time I shut down and then turn on the stream, it never pulls in what we were looking at last. So anyway, let's turn this on. Don't know why that was off. All right, so cool. So this is where we left off. I didn't have the buddy box, and so that's why we had to pause on Prusawire. But I did order those. I would have finished this last week, but it took exactly 8 days from the day that I ordered it to the day that it arrived, which meant it arrived Monday after stream. So I've had the buddy box in hand for about a week now, and it was pretty affordable. I think 20 bucks or something. This is it here. Good morning, LTX Designs. Adrian, you need to kill an angel. I think you mean kill an angel. We're still trying to get those stickers out there, huh? Hey, John, good morning. So this is where we left off. And basically, we just slide this onto the printed parts that we've already installed from before. And then I can add on a couple of more pieces here. I believe I have this piece. Pretty sure I have that piece. I thought I did. I could be wrong here. But 2 on the top of the pie wall and 2 at the bottom of the X-Buddy board. Yeah, I feel like I printed that, but I'd have to find it. So let me show you where we are on the machine itself. C1 belt tuning. What is C1 belt tuning? What is, oh, and my camera's upside down. What are we doing today? Come on. 1 second, folks. Stream's going crazy. Thanks for being a member, Additive Adam. That's awesome, dude. Thank you so much. We'll flip it that way, and then we need to flip it the other way. This is what happens when you do a Friday stream and then need to reset up all of your cameras and everything because the rat rig is so big it doesn't fit in the screen. But this is the Prusawire that we've been working on for a while. And get ready to catch. What am I catching? Get ready to catch. I'm not sure what you mean there, John. You're gonna have to explain. But anyway, this is where we kind of left off, and you can see I've got, this is not gonna work well, but we've got some parts left from last time. What I need to do now is take the Prusawire buddy box here, and that sort of goes like in that location there. And then there's another piece that sort of screws into these heat inserts and into the box itself, and that allows things to connect together. But I don't see that part immediately, so I've got all the parts just off camera here to my left. And there's one piece that I don't know that I have, and so either A, I failed to print it, which is totally possible because I do that a lot, or B, I threw it away without realizing that I needed it. So it could be in, so I have these small crates over here. They're just collapsible milk crates that I put all of my Switchwire stuff in, and it makes keeping things together a lot easier for me. But the problem is I just kind of threw everything in here. And so it could be, in this case, it could be not. Just give me a second to see if I actually kept this item. I don't know that I did. I don't know that I did. Yep, so we're gonna have to print a new one, and that's okay. That is perfectly okay. Such a nice design. The print. Oh, the printer was upside down. Yeah. Sorry, I got you, John. Yeah, I'm a little slow. All right. So this goes on here. I can print this part later. I'm not really worried about it right now. But that goes on like that. And I know the angle is a little weird, but it's the best I can get without completely removing the rat rig. So just off camera over here is the rat rig, and it's still up on the bench top. So I've had to move everything so I can have room for this, which changed all the angles a little bit. So I was hoping that more of a top-down look would be a little better. Running Rambo and not feeling any downsize. Does the Prusawire use the Rambo 8-bit board from the Mark III? Additive Adam, you can use either. So you can use the Rambo board, but I believe you need to run it via USB. So I've got my original Rambo board here, and whoever wins this printer in the raffle will get the Rambo board originally. So this is it here. It's supposed to work with this, and I will include the case for it if you want to revert. But it's supposed to work with this, but from what I can tell, I couldn't get it to go. So what I had to do was use the USB-C port here, and I'll include the cable as well. And then that would need to go to whatever Raspberry Pi that you're running, and supposedly they talk, right? But now you have to run a separate power source to your Pi and some other things, and it didn't look as clean as I wanted it to personally. So instead of using this, I'm going to put in here this. So this is the SKR Mini E3 V3. So any Ender 3 style board will work with this. And this will allow a lot more capability in Clipper. So we can run Danger Clipper. We can do extra heaters if you want to, and you can use this for lighting. There's some extra capability you're getting with this board that you would not get with this one. I hope that answers your question. You still have your original Mark III apart collecting dust. Additive Atom, you got to make it into a Prusawire, man. It's pretty cheap. Just if you wanted to go single color, it's one spool of filament and then a Raspberry Pi, which if you're running Octoprint on it anyway, you're probably already doing that. And then of course you need some bearings and rods and stuff like that. Even the motors are stock Prusa motors. Using a complete Mark III least expensive, correct? Hey, happy Sunday, Birdman Anyweather. Good morning. I'm trying to keep up with chat. You guys are moving so fast. Sorry. Killer Prince, we think we found the issue with flashing the Rambo. It's related to the Pi OS which you are using. Okay, so do I need to use a different OS, Aaron? If Pi OS doesn't work, what should I use instead? No, that doesn't work. I need a longer one. Let's see this guy. Too short still. Let's see if I can get this in here. Gonna need a ball head for this one, but that doesn't really want to. There we go. That is tight. You got lots of filament and pies, just would have to get the add-on parts. The original linear bearings went out. Your OG Mark III has been rebuilt to the Mark 3S before. I think I have some extra bearings. I've got some suggestions on things that you might need if you're going to do this. So one of the things, if you're going to do the mod that I'm doing, so this is from the Nexus Avenger. I found out about this case mod on the Positron Discord server, but there's a Prusawire channel, and that's where this mod comes from. But it's on printables, and so if you want the link, I'll drop it here in chat for you, and then you guys can follow along. Oh, by the way, let's do this just to have some fun. There's your link for the project, and so if you want to use that, can. And what you'll need to do the mod is Nomad recommended to have the new standoffs on here. These are the heat bed expansion joints for the bed. So you'll want to get those. Those are from the Mark IV. And then if you're going to do this case mod, you will need the X Buddy board case and cover. You need both to be able to do the mod. And that'll allow you to either use a buddy board if you want to, or do what I'm doing and use the SKR3. Your wiring came out so clean. Nice. Electronics tower should be the default for Mark 4S. I don't disagree with you, Robin. We added a note to the GitHub for using the bookworm version, not the latest. Ah, that makes sense. Okay. So my version was too new, and that's why we couldn't do it. Robin B, fix the y-axis. Nope, Apex are not holding the belt tight enough. I need to reprint them. Yeah, sometimes if things are too loose, just reprinting, you know, scaling it by like 0.5% could be enough to change it up. All right, so we got that. I didn't find this small little part here, the lower electronics Raspberry Pi back wall. I think that's this thing. The part I need is this X Buddy electronics holder bottom mount. I think that's what it is. I need one of those. And so I'm hoping that I can just do the install and add this on after the fact. But I want to scroll to see if it is blocked by anything. I think it mounts underneath this little portion, so probably gonna need to get that sliced up. That's unfortunate. Let's see, let's do, what did I have on here? Oh, rat rig stuff. So we'll do a new one. And I'm pretty sure that I downloaded all of this. Let me get over to my folder here. Electronics tower, and this is called, we said it's called the X Buddy electronics bottom holder. Yep, looks like it. Get this going on the HTD while we are talking here. That's going to be ABS. Got that loaded, and yep, settings look good to me. Using standard stuff. I think I'm going to turn on Arachne just because, and we could slice. Should take about 30 minutes or so to get through. It's not too bad. Just double checking everything, making sure that nothing crazy is going to happen here. Looks like we got the counter bore bridging inside the hole, so I'm not worried about that. Drop in a few heat inserts and it should be good. Let's print that with ABS black. That sounds good to me. Everything looks good on the printer. Looks like it's warming up. Perfect. All right, we'll come back and check on this guy in a few. But over here, looks like I can go ahead and add this high back wall piece on. Testing out an ant head today. Any suggestions? So I have not personally used ant head yet, Zombie. I want to. I've got a micron over here that I need to rebuild. But again, time and space to be able to do it. What I would suggest though is take your time. It's a small print head, so the what's it called? The space constraints are something to worry about. So it's tight getting your fingers in for your 4010 fans and things like that, and then keeping the wiring very neat when you're running a toolhead board. If you're running a toolhead board, that's what I would suggest. So just take your time and try to keep the wiring neat. Other than that, it's a pretty straightforward toolhead. I didn't have too many thoughts on it other than that and dropping things on the floor. But I do want to use one. I have a spare tube compact that I would love to use with an ant head. I've just gotten I made an order yesterday for a bunch of parts for A4T, so I'm gonna redo the tool head on my Trident to an A4T, and then put ant head on the Micron. But again, time constraints. Stealth changer, but you're just testing assembly with a tube compact. Yeah, you're gonna love the tube compact if you haven't really played with it yet. If I don't know what 4010 fans you're planning to run, Zombie, but if you can get your hands on some high static pressure fans from either Fabrico, which I'll show you the ones that I like to use for that kind of thing. This is one here, yeah. So I'll show you these. If you don't have any of these, I would highly recommend you do it. So this is the Honey Badger high static pressure fan. It's a 12 volt fan. I'm sorry, this is a 24 volt fan, but a lot of them are only 12 volt. So pay attention to your voltage or you're gonna blow out some fans. These are a little more pricey. I want to say they're $7 to $9 depending. I can't really remember. You could do this one, which I really like. They got a high RPM. But then also I've got some Berserker fans in here from West 3D, and they work pretty well. So here's another pair. This is another option. These are 2-wire fans. So these are also 24 volt. You can do these. They do have different sizes though. So I think the Honey Badger fan is a slightly different size than a normal 4010. So pay attention to that when you're printing your parts. That's probably another recommendation I'd give to you. Safe. What is the C1? I'm not familiar with that. What is the C1? Tube compact is awesome, Jason. I've been running it on the Antithesis since probably late April. Typically use Honey Badger fans, so you have so. Zombie, I'm the same way. I have gone through and thrown away a bunch of like no-name brand cheapo 4010 fans to really try to replace those sorts of things with quality parts. And so I've been getting rid of a lot of my no-name cheapo fans or using them for mock-up. So I just cut the wire off and use it for mock-up to test fit parts and whatnot. But other than that, that's all I'm really using them for. Most of mine are Honey Badger or Berserker. I've got some GDS time, but things like Winson and BQ and whatever other no-name stuff, I've really gotten away from all that. Alright, so while that part is printing, hasn't even started yet, the H2D takes a while to warm up. I would have used the X1 Carbon, but it is currently finishing up a print. Actually, it just finished. Like, while I was saying that, it just finished. So we'll let that cool just for a second. I'll pull it off and I'll show you what we were working on. Oh, Core 1. My bad. I'm not familiar with that C1 term. Sorry, I've got like, I don't know, it's been getting cold out here, so in the mornings we're in the upper 50s, around 58, 60 degrees, something like that. And as it warms up throughout the day, it gets roughly 75, 80 degrees out here right now this time of year. And so, like, I don't know, I feel like I'm sort of getting a little sick or stuffy or whatever. Yeah, it's awesome. I don't know, I want a Core 1. I don't want to buy a Core 1. So if I can get one for like a steep discount or find one secondhand or something like that, I would love to, but I don't want to buy a Core 1. Hadron, I agree, man. This is the best part of the year. I love this time of year out here. I'm gonna miss it. Take that temp all day. Well, Clownhammer, good with the bad, right? So this is the nice season. We get a similar season in the springtime, but the summers are brutal. You won a Core 1? Oh, wow, Zombie. Congratulations, man. I wish I could win a Core 1. Which our cold isn't really that cold. Yeah, true. Not really that cold, but cold enough to where you wear pants and sweatshirts and things like that. So winter enough without the downsides of winter. Can always put more on, correct. Also not a fan of hot, correct. But my wife gets 3 times the votes that I do from Death Racers at 3D and Protopia. Congratulations. Yeah, I didn't know that. Well, that's awesome. I can't do this yet because it sits on top of the piece that we need, but I can get the pie installed. So I'll probably do that. Hopefully we see snow. It would be good. I wouldn't mind seeing some snow. It's been a few years. All right, we can get our pie in here. So again, I'm going to reuse this is the Big Tree Tech pie, and I'm going to use that as my pie here. Only because I can add a 24 volt inlet here. And then also my ports are on the opposite side as they would be. So if you can see in the picture there, basically the input side and the GPIO pin side are flip-flopped on the Big Tree Tech Pi. And so, yeah, that means, I don't know, I guess better access here based on the picture that I'm seeing. That goes in like so, fits in the space it's supposed to fit in. The problem I'm seeing though is there are standoffs here. I'll show you this. There are standoffs here. These are not long enough. Just not long enough for what I am seeing. So that's another challenge. Okay, I think what I have to do then is put some standoffs in. Luckily I had some, but these posts are not long enough, or the ports in this panel are just not, they need to be pushed in. I don't know, maybe another, let's see, let's measure this out. They need to be pushed in maybe another 10 millimeters or something. Let's get a measurement just for posterity's sake. Totally hoodie weather in the Pacific. Oh man, I would love to live in the Pacific Northwest. The Core 1 prints beautifully. Definitely wire the buck converter before installing the ePi. Robin, I don't need the buck converter because the Big Tree Tech Pi runs on 24 volts. That's one of the benefits, and why I like to use these is because I don't need that separate buck converter. If I were using an authentic Raspberry Pi, then you would. But this one, not the case. Okay, so the outlets on this one are about maybe 10 millimeters. 10 to... Oh yeah, and they don't line up with the Big Tree Tech Pi. That's interesting. So these 2, 3... Yeah, so on the Big Tree Tech Pi, this most forward top hole doesn't align with the post, so we're only going to be able to use 3. And that looks like maybe 10 millimeters too close. So really what needs to happen to make it right is, I know this is difficult to see, but these holes here need to shift in about 10 millimeters. That's a change I can make in CAD, but I'm going to solve it by adding on some standoffs. And I think these are M2s. And I think they're 10 millimeters long as well, which might be what we need here. Yeah, right at 10 millimeters. So luckily we've got 3 of these that I can use. I don't know if that's already been fixed or not. We'd have to go back and look. But yeah, these are not correct. I'm gonna try to put these in by hand. I think what I want to do is chamfer these holes a little bit. Get out my chamfering tool. Give those holes a quick spin. It's gonna help the screw go in a little easier. Like that. The people out here can't drive as it is, but snow would be appreciated. Mammoth is only a few hours away to get that Christmas vibes. Yeah, dude. We plan to go somewhere and try to get some Christmas in. That's a full Pi, not the CB one. Yeah, it's a full Big Tree Tech Pi. It's not a CB. But I've got one down here. So what Clownhammer is talking about is this here, right? So on my right, this is your CB1 with a Pi adapter. So this is your Pi 4B adapter. You can put a CB1 on here, or you can put a Compute Module 4, whatever you like. But it's just a converter board to allow you to have some USB ports and some inputs over here with HDMI or whatever. This one is an actual Big Tree Tech Pi. So it's got your SD card and some additional CAN bus ports and things like that on it. It's a full featured board, whereas this one is just like a carrier, like a converter. And it gives you the same form factor as a Raspberry Pi. You can see the difference here if I move this out of the way. You can see the difference. The GPIO pins are swapped top to bottom. And then also your input, output ports, so like your USB port and stuff like that, are swapped top to bottom. So there are some differences. Again, the reason I'm using this one is because it does accept 24 volt. It's also got the onboard CAN bus port and a 5 volt port here. There's also a bridge, what's it called? Like a, I forget what it's, man, I'm really forgetting the name of the item that connects to these 2 pins here, but it bridges across this heatsink and it will activate your CAN bus. I forget the name of it, but you will need that to use CAN directly from the Pi. Poor CB1. Nah, CB1 is fine. We're gonna add that to the other antithesis or something. Yeah, I'll find a home for it. There are tons of projects left to do. And actually, for those that are members now and who became members today, I'm considering doing a members only complete build. So it'll be a complete build of a printer, but only available for my members. So if you're not a member and you want to see that build, you're gonna have to get signed up, at least in one of the lower tiers. CR6SE, so they fit well. I used to have one of those, Cloud Hammer. I used to have one of those, but then when I moved from Oklahoma, I sold it to a buddy of mine. It was a good printer. I got it on Kickstarter, I think. That initial launch, pre-launch, whatever it was, I got it on that. And sorry, I'm just looking for the right tool here to be able to put this in. But I got it on that initial launch. And it was a good printer. Printed all of my Voron parts on it for my very first build, which was a 350 Trident. It was a Physetic kit. And I printed all of the initial parts on that CR6 in a hotbox. Have a good morning. What did you miss? Nothing. We're working on Prusawire today, trying to get the electronics mod case in here. So this is a Mark III using a Mark IV electronics case, and so we're going to finish getting that installed. I'm working on getting the Pi in there right now, and then we're going to add the SKR in as well. So you didn't miss much. I'm just getting started. I just don't have the right, so this is my socket driver here, and this is a replaceable. This is a 5.5 inch box socket. I think I need a 5 to be able to put these standoffs on there, but the other one it came with is a 4. So I don't have the finger strength to be able to tighten it by hand, but at the same time I don't have the right tool either. So I think what I'm going to do is cheat a little bit. And so what you can do, and stuff I have done before, let me find my hardware here. Is you can get your 2.5 millimeter hardware and just put a screw in it, and then use that screw to tighten things down. So let's get one of these little short guys here, and a driver. And we'll put the screw in there and use that sort of like a handle to be able to tighten in this standoff all the way. So that's one of the little tricks I'll do if I don't have the right box driver. Doesn't need to be super tight. And we'll just take that screw out and use it to secure the Pi. I wonder if printed standoffs could suffice for the bed. Probably not. I wouldn't chance that. Even if you used like ABS, I mean, maybe if you used nylon or something that could withstand the heat, you might be okay. But the standoffs are only like, I think it was $10 or something for the standoffs for the bed. It wasn't too bad. I'm pretty confident in saying that you can get the bed standoffs, the Prusa X Buddy box, cover and case, all for under $40. Like shipping included. I'm pretty sure that's what I paid for all that. Yeah, Aaron's saying the same. Doesn't recommend printed standoffs. I think that's just playing with fire. You could probably do it in a pinch if you needed to use the printer right away and you didn't have time to wait for a better solution, but I don't know that I would recommend it. How late are you? About 40 minutes, Nomad. Just trying to wrap up the install here. I know I'm a little late to the game on getting mine done, but you know, we've been doing a couple of projects at the same time here. I don't know if you've used the tower yet, the electronics tower, but something that we just found out about is the standoffs here that are printed are about 10 millimeters too short to align with the hole pattern in this panel back here. So one of two solutions or recommendations, and I realize this is not your project, but either make the standoffs 10 millimeters longer, or move these ports for the Pi more inboard to 10 millimeters. So we'll just get this connected up. And this one down here. Good morning, Pez Liz. 13 Prusa wires exist now. Nice. Yeah, I would build one for myself if I had another Prusa. This has been a pretty decent fun build. I'll tell you, this right here, in my opinion, this should be standard. This electronics box, that should be a standard part of the build. This is really nice, and I think it's really going to clean up the wiring to eliminate a lot of the craziness that was going on underneath when I first tried to do this. So I am backtracking a little bit for quality of life reasons to make this a nicer build, because we are going to raffle it off, right? So if you are not in a raffle, I know that the chatbot has been dropping in the link, and we do have Reth here as well. This is your link for the chat. Where'd it go? This guy. Sorry, it's not letting me copy this here. Either way, if you scroll up a little bit, it's in there where you can sign up for the raffle to win this printer. Hey Raj D, good morning. Hey TJL. You fell into a Mark 4S frame, so moved all the upgrade from the 3S frame. Hey, that's good. I hear that the Mark IV frame is a little more rigid, and they've made some improvements on it. So yeah, if I could fall into a Mark IV frame, I would do the same. I would take that. All right, so that is on. Let's see what we got to do next. Trying not to get ahead of myself too far here. I am going to have to go back and redo this portion. One thing I did, my Wago mount thing is not the same as, here we go, is not the same as, we're using generic Wagos here. And these generic ones are slightly bigger in, I guess, Z-axis and in Y. And so I had to modify this in CAD to have it. I'll upload it. It seems like it works now that I've tested it. I'll upload this as a remix on printables. So if you want to use these, you can just jump in there on the remix and pick this up. US only, yeah, sorry. Shipping printers internationally that are fully built is a challenge that I don't want to deal with. Well, you would agree it requires something that isn't standard. It does, but I would also argue that the standoffs and the PZ probe that we recommend are also not standard on the Mark III, and so maybe it's a recommendation, not like a standard thing. One man's opinion. You're the boss. Do what you want. Steven, when are you going to start building yours? Are you starting right away? Default is Pinda. Correct. Default is Pinda, but we recommend PZ probe and we recommend heat expansion joints on the bed. So maybe we recommend Mark IV box and tower upgrade. Again, just one man's opinion. I think I can install this bracket without having to mess up anything. So let's do that. I didn't think I would be breaking out the hardware so early. Orientation is this way. Let's see how big hardware. I think I can use 8s, M8s, M3x8s through here. Yeah, that should work. And there are mounting bosses inside for the standard, what's it now, the buddy board. And these just connect to where that original board would go. Like to get a couple started before we crank down on it. But Nomad, I do appreciate you guys getting this stuff out. It still took me about 8 days to get this case, which is why we didn't work on the Prusawire last week. I didn't have the case in time. It arrived the day after I needed it. But I do appreciate you guys getting it out. I realize it's coming cross country. But it was beautiful, very affordable to get here. So shout out to Printed Solid for always giving the good stuff. And I even got some of the filament you guys recommended too. I'll show you that here in a second. Yeah, I even picked up some of the nightshade that you guys recommended. So here's my Elixir nightshade. Gonna print some Halloween stuff with that, and we'll put a post up on the YouTube channel and Instagram and all that stuff. Steven's trying to finish the Venture, and then with the wooden top on it, the Prusawire can have the entire top to build on. Oh, I see. So you're using the Venture as your build surface as well. That's really smart with a printer that big. So I thought about doing that with the rat rig as well. Again, just off camera over here. Putting a top on that and just using it as a work surface. It's not quite as big as a full table, but I do have the X1 Carbon Panda stand thing that Big Tree Tech just came out with, and it's slightly larger than that thing. So if the Panda stand is good enough for an X1 Carbon, the rat rig with a wooden top would be good enough as well. All right, now we're looking at just installing the SKR. So this one goes, I think it goes that way. No, it goes this way. So the SKR goes this way. Optionally connect the X, Y, and Z motors. Prepare the USB cable for the board. USB cable? I don't need a USB cable. Hey, Printed Visions. Good morning. Thanks for coming in the stream. Finishing the, well, trying to get finished all of the Prusawire things and stuff today. I'm going to use smaller hardware here. I think I'm going to use these M3x6s to hold the board in place. Trying to get the electronics good to go on the Prusawire conversion. And then maybe get some wiring done. I doubt we're gonna finish today, but it is mostly there. I'd say it's 85% done right now. I was waiting on some extra parts and whatnot, but we've been going on this thing for a couple of weeks. And then we're going to give it away here in roughly a month. I say giveaway, I mean raffle. We're going to raffle it off in roughly a month. And the part just finished on the H2D. I'll grab that. We'll give it a second to cool. And then I'll pull that off and we'll get that installed down here where it's supposed to be. We'll be using GPIO or USB to have the Pi message the MCU. Additive atom, I'm not entirely sure yet. We could do either. There is extra space behind the Pi here. There's some extra space because we didn't have to use that 5-volt converter. So I could run some cabling back here. USB would go down to this location and then connect up to the Pi up here. But if I used a USB, it would need to come out the USB port. So it would come out the back and then have to enter the case again. That's not as clean as I would like. And so, long way of me saying I'm probably going to just do the GPIO pins because that goes from here to, I think, here. And that's pretty straightforward. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Sound good? I'll tell you what, let's see if we can just prop this up a little bit. That'll help you see better and it'll help me work better too. So let's get these 1, 2, 3 blocks out and put those under there. I think that'll, you guys can see a little better if I do that, yeah? Stay out of the way. Here we go. What filament did I use for the orange? This is, I got some here. You tell me. What filament is it? This is some ABS glass fiber that I got from DFH probably a year ago or more. It is no name. I think now it goes under the name Decent Filament, and you can get it over there. But that's what I used, Mystery Filament. Since that time, Bamboo has come out with some ABS glass fiber of their own, and that's what this one is here. So I've got some of that as well. I thought I was going to use this, but I didn't have enough. So I paused on this. I had 2 spools of the other stuff, and that's what it is. So I think it's Decent Filament is what it's called right now on DFH. And it is Decent Filament. Hey, K2 Kevin. Hey, Kevin, I got something for you. Let me grab this real quick. I've got something that's got your name all over it. I just spent 12 hours making this. Like, it just finished as we started stream, so roughly an hour ago. I still need to print all the boxes, and I'm probably going to add on another one. I want to do different colors for each hardware, so this is going to be my M3 hardware box, and then I'm going to do one in blue for M5 hardware, and then I'll do like a red one for, I think, M4. But yeah, trying to get rugged. So I plan to do a lot of these, and we're just going to cycle through and burn up some filament and print out the whole collection. I'll send you a picture when we get the whole setup done. But yeah, good timing, sir. Good timing. I need to swap out filament and do another one. But yeah, I really like it. Came out great. And on that one, I just used some random Jesse mixtape PLA. Rugged and handsome. Aw, thanks, Liz. You're handsome as well. Can't wait to see it. I've always wondered why there are 5 screws holding on a Ender 3 board, but only 4 on most others. Actually, I say 5. It's, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why do they do that? That's so different. Uh-oh. Should probably use a different driver because this one drops screws. There we go. My KB3D driver. You get these when you order from them sometimes. Magnet on the end. Lifesaver. Tons and tons of times. Dropping little screws down in places that you can't reach. And then it works as a 2.5mm driver as well. Alright, so that is all good to go. Finish driving those in. Great. Let me grab that part off the machine over here. So we're going to need this before we get too far down the road. Kevin, I think the next thing I'm going to do for my rugged setup is that Pro Streamer thing you have. It's like a, I don't even know, a workstation, I guess is what I would call it. But I think that's what I want to do. Jeez, this thing is really stuck on there. What happened? Yeah, I was trying to print silk PLA on the H2D yesterday. Could not get it to go and stick to the bed at all, so I added a little vision miner, and that vision miner is grabbing so much that I couldn't really get the part off. But I do need to add 2 heat inserts there, and that should be it. And we can add that to that right there, tying everything together. One of us. 54 viewers, love it. Make sure we like and subscribe. Thanks for everybody for being here. It sounds like there's a lot of interest in the Prusawire. And for those that don't know and you're here, Prusawire is up for raffle. So if you want to win this and take it home, there is a link in 10 comments up from Streamlabs where you can get raffle tickets. They're only 10 bucks. So if you think about it, you could potentially take this whole printer home for $10. Heat inserts. Just gonna drop a couple heat inserts into this thing. Just get the iron warmed up. Very satisfying to watch it print. We have a working Core 1. Congratulations! Congratulations. Still would like a Core 1. That would be cool. Hey, Rye Guy. How are you? Trying to get the Prusawire finished up today. I needed to print one more part because somehow I missed it, which is kind of standard for me. Alright, so just trying to get a couple of heat inserts in and then we'll get back to it. What bike do I have? So this is my, sorry, this one. This is my, what is it, a Triumph 765 RS. It's a 2020 model. I think all the way up till now, current model is the same motorcycle. Haven't ridden it in about 2 weeks, kind of getting the itch. So maybe after stream today, I'll take it out, do a couple laps. Thanks. Had to take a break from trying to route monolith belts. Ugh. Yeah, I did the same with the rat rig. If you don't think you are a member yet. So if you want to be, go ahead and get subscribed. But on our members only stream that we had Friday, I didn't get to route the belts because it was a huge pain. It took me after stream, it took me another 2 hours to get the belts routed on that machine, because the back corners are so tight against the frame that even the zip tie trick is a pain to get working. Be safe. You have not ridden yours in a couple years. I try to be safe, Additive Adam. I did have one spill back in 2022. I was riding in February. I probably shouldn't have. It was really cold. And I hit a patch of black ice and I got whipped to the ground. So my front tire let go and I got body slammed to the ground. So I broke 4 ribs on my left side and I had a concussion, scraped up all these knuckles. That's why my knuckles look the way they do. And then I got an elbow and then I got my knee. So yeah, it can be dangerous. So luckily I was wearing all the gear that I was supposed to be wearing, and it worked out for me that I didn't get seriously injured. No, I say I'm not super worried about it. It's just a story, right? Like, some things happened and I got a couple days off work. That's all it means. I still enjoy riding. I really, really enjoy riding. I wish I could do it more often. Out here, unless I drive about an hour, I can't really get to the fun twisty parts. So I don't ride as much as I would like to. Especially being so close to LA, like, it gets a little sketchy with the drivers. And then if I go the opposite way away from LA, it just takes a while to get to any sort of fun type roads. There's a lot of straight flat roads out this way where I'm at. Well, I guess where Hadron and I are at. Why are you not playing nice? It's annoying. The screw keeps trying to move instead of just going in straight where it should go. Why are you not working here? There we go. Printed parts, that's why. Printed parts trying to screw together don't always go together like they should, so I'm gonna massage them. But they go into the metal parts beautifully. Oh, dude, so I also had an S1000, but mine was a single R, so the naked version. And never owned a Gixxer, but I definitely miss my BMW. The thing had cruise control on it. I had a heated seat on it. Not that I ever used it, but it was nice to have. Cruise control I used all the time, because it's when I lived in NorCal. Trying to get out to some of the mountain passes and stuff, like you have to take some highway, and so just having the ability to put cruise control on and drive down the highway for an hour was much nicer. And that was on a super bike, you know? So same performance as the RR that you were talking about, just naked version. Okay, so that looks all good there. That's the bracket we needed, which means now I can insert our our generic Wago mount. guy at work has a nice Indian Scout. Seeing people riding in t-shirts and street shoes is crazy. Well, they will learn at some point. I mean, you can't fix stupid. So sometimes people have to learn the hard way. That's unfortunate, but it is true. Alright, so this goes here. Upside down. Trying to look in there and see where that heat insert is. You had the anniversary Harley V-Rod. Nice. You said you had it, so you don't have it anymore, Kevin? So for you guys that had bikes and got rid of them, why get rid of them? Just no more time to ride, or fell out of love with it, didn't want to deal with the, I don't know, the danger of it? Like, I'm just curious what your reasoning was. Purely being transparent here, but I'm considering selling it just because I don't ride it as much as I would like to, and I don't want it just sitting either, but I do like riding when I like riding. I'm not afraid to ride or anything like that. It just those are being a pain. You don't want to go in there. So there's probably some more work to do on this modified part. The center one between the two Wagos we have, this one is just very tight to get in there. So I think maybe I need to remove that little bump in the CAD model there. That just does not want to go no matter how hard I push. I mean, I want it to be tight, but not that damn tight. Yeah, that's not going to work out. A bunch of friends had passed in a short time. Angeles Crest and highway accidents. I understand. Close calls every ride. Had a kid. Wanted to be around to coach baseball. Yeah. Oh, I broke that one somehow. Interesting. Pull that out of there with some pliers. Who wants to be my co-pilot? First job at 16 was motorcycle shop. That's cool. Need me a motorcycle sidecar. Motorcycle with a sidecar would be interesting. My daughter might actually ride with me right now. She's scared of it because it's loud, and she's not about that life. Jeez, like we completely broke this. Like it got jammed in there so badly that it doesn't want to come out of there now. So we destroyed one just to make it not work, so we'll throw that in the trash. I think I might just stick with the two. I mean, all I need is a positive and negative. Why do I need 4 different things? Maybe we'll find out, maybe we won't. Alright, what else? What else? Riding with passengers is fine, but there is a level of trust you put into them. Yeah, so I had to teach my wife how to do it. She used to like to ride with me every so often. Good morning, Steve. My wife used to like to ride with me every so often, and I had to teach her because every time we would stop, her helmet would just like bang into the back of my helmet, and I would just shake my head. But she was just kind of along for the ride, didn't really understand that, you're a participant. I need you to lean when I lean, and as we're coming to a stop, I need you to like back off so you don't bang helmets with me. But yeah, that got pretty annoying. So we did it a few times, like date nights and stuff, but yeah, not something I want to do constantly. All right, this is our Nighthawk adapter. We are going to run a Nighthawk on this just to make it easier. This one appears like it goes like this right here on the side. So this way, power down, which makes sense because our power supply would come up from the bottom, and then just connects here to the side. Your son wants 2 with you. Yeah, counterbalance. Miss riding, maybe next year you'll be up to it. Yeah, no, riding is an acquired thing. Like, riding in traffic is never fun, but riding around a lake or through mountain pass or something like that, that's always fun. And it's not about the speed or anything. It's about just, you know, being out in nature and doing what you like to do. I did keep, on this Nighthawk mount, I did keep the cover that is stock for the Nighthawk. So if you go to the LDO GitHub to download the STLs to mount a Nighthawk daughter board, there will be a cover on there. This is that cover. This is not part of the mod itself. Yeah, I think Steve is doing Mad Max today, so here in about an hour and 15 minutes or so, go pop over there, support him. I'll try to raid over and check out him building a Mad Max. All right, heat bed cable, route the heat bed cable assembly through the square hole. Okay. Do that, like that. Bed is all the way forward so we get the most travel. And then here's my one of the bed cable pieces and parts. There should be a top cover, I think. It helps you de-stress, Fegley. Yeah, I de-stress that way too. So when on days I do ride, I tend to oh, that's the wrong hole. It goes up here in this hole. I tend to take the long way home. Just some days. We may have to extend these cables. At the very least, I gotta cut these terminals off of here. Because these are the heat bed terminals on the SKR, and these have forks. Those need ferrules, so we'll need to trim that, add that in there like so. This is main power up top, and then you got two heater ports here, probably for extruder and bed. I'll figure those out once we look at the schematic, but yeah, that should go that way, which means this cable is got barely enough slack in it to be able to do that without too much craziness. This power panic is not going to work anymore unless we route it over to the power supply itself, so we'll probably have to separate that out from the harness. So let me snip this zip tie. I'd like to retain the power panic if possible. If you don't wire it right, a Prusawire turns into a Prusawire. You're not wrong there. Good morning, Projects in Dad's Garage. Not wrong there. Wiring is always where you want to spend the majority of your time because that's the dangerous part. And I'll be honest with you, that's where I spend a lot of my time. Because I check and triple check and quadruple check that things are correct. Let's see, pull this out. Yeah, I really wonder how I'm going to route that because it's connected to the bed. Oh, that's the thermistor for the bed. I'm stupid. I thought that was the power panic for some reason. Duh. Alright, I know my big head keeps getting in the way here. I'm trying to stay out of the frame. Yes. Yeah, so we'll have to trim this connection off of the thermistor as well. Alright, so that makes more sense. I don't know why I thought that was the power panic. I think I'm still waking up this morning. Try to find some zip ties. So I do this thing where in an electronics case like this, I like to use a brighter zip tie so that I can actually see where they are. And the reason for that is when I'm looking in here, everything is black. It's usually dark because of, you know, being shaded and things like that. So I know that they sell bright orange and pink and green zip ties and stuff, but these white ones are what I have. And so I've been using a lot of white ones lately to do the same thing, just to highlight what is where. And I think I'm gonna do that here as well, so that if you ever do need to get in here and cut all your zip ties, you can easily identify where they are. Not necessary, I don't believe, but I don't know, it makes sense to my brain. I'm gonna cut that flush so we don't cut our hands. All right, what else? This goes on with the cable coming through. So this way, and then that goes like that. Cool, it lines up perfectly. And once we get it in place, I'll cut those wires. I just want to make sure I've got enough slack in the cable that I'm not putting too much strain on it. Gotta find the right screw hole here. There we go. Jeez. I think there probably needs to be more clearance in this part. Hey Beanie, good morning. Crimping terminals was rough for you, really? That was the longest part of your nebula build, making sure you had the proper wire sizes for power and grounds on everything. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna shorten all your motor cables, that's where it gets rough, because for whatever reason, shortening your motor cables is 4 crimps, 4 JST connections per motor, and when you're doing something like a V2, that's 24 crimps just for your motors, and then you still need to do all of your other ones for, you know, heaters and thermistors and whatever. What is up here? I think maybe there's some powder coating inside that's not working out. Doesn't want to go through. We'll make it go. And just double checking that our slack is appropriate here for this. That looks good. Yeah, one of the holes was, I think it had some extra powder coating or whatever in there because it was just really tight to get through. Pass on recrimping motor wires to shorten them. Aaron, I can't though. The extra stuff just balled up and shoved in a case doesn't really work for me. Almost ending work for today. Nice, Beanie. Oh, here's afternoon. Yeah. It's 8:53 in the morning where I'm at. Yeah, Mike loves crimping. Never really did that, but you don't touch the motor wires and wiring up the Nighthawk 36. Yeah, I don't know, it can be relaxing, but I will spend a few hours doing it. I like to do it all in one sitting, all in one day. For the most part, on some larger machines like the Rat Rig, there's a lot of wiring. And for stuff like that, I'll just look at doing it over 2 days. Usually not consecutive days. So I know that I need to take these off, so I'm going to do that. Try to save as much of the wire as possible. We'll take those fork terminals off of there and throw them on the ground while we're at it. Alright, I think I need to figure out which port is the bed, and then also which is positive and negative. There's nothing on the board itself that I can see to indicate where that is. It might be on the back, but I don't remember. We'll strip these down. I like to take about 10 millimeters off the ends of this. And that should be enough to catch a ferrule without sticking out the end. I need to bring my trash can over here. Like, walking back and forth is getting old. Grab that. There we go, it's a little better. Alright, and in the meantime, let's find my ferrules here. Beacon to your Nighthawk 36. Watch my rat rig stream. Zims, thanks, man. What do you think? Yeah, we did that on Friday. I was pretty frustrated at the end of it, I'm not even gonna lie. I think I probably wasn't in the right mood to be doing it in the first place, but then having to deal with all the different all the different hardware and things like that, and just, I don't know, I think I was just angry at it. But yeah, I was working on it again this morning. It seems to, like, configuration-wise, be fine. I was unable to test movement or anything like that to really get into the verification before stream today. But I did get everything talking. I've got no errors and stuff like that, so we're on the right path. I'll probably play with it a little more after today and get some B-roll on it. Alright, there's your ferrules. Give them a little tug test, make sure we're good to go. Sorry, let me catch up with chat here for a second. Some of those are very tiny. Yes, they are. Nighthawk does use a smaller size crimp. Cool, Pico and Big Tree Tech Pie. Yes. This is a SKR3 Mini, not a Pico. 2.0 JSTs are rough. Yeah. That was a wee painful. Had to make 3 motor cables from scratch. Gross. 60 viewing, 32 likes. Come on, guys, help a brother out. You know, Fabrico makes pre-crimped cable for the Nighthawk 36. I didn't know that, but awesome. We could do some offline stuff and prep if you want. I just lost a 42 in orbiter filament sensor. Oh no. Zims, I'll take you up on that. Send me a DM on Discord and let's coordinate a time. ZH crimps are definitely a pain. Yes, they're all bots. JST is crazy. Ended up buying a good crimper. Mash that like button. Get them additive, Adam. Be my hype man. Let's get some folks going. These are the crimpers that I use. These are the Engineer PA09. They go from 1.0 to 1.9. I mostly use 1.9 and 1.6. But these are the ones I use. You could get away with using the unbranded one, the generic version of it. But that's what I use. And then this tool here is my stripper. I got this one from West 3D. I really like it. It's ergonomically better for me. Instead of, like, you know, the pew pew style, this is more of a, I don't know, I don't even know what you would call that, but stapler. I like that. So these tools I use almost all the time. This is what I use for crimping ferrules. Necessary. Mine came as a kit with a case of ferrules. All right, let's look up this. Let's look up the diagram here. If I don't already have it downloaded, because I don't remember. You love your iWish 322 mic? Yeah, iWish, that's the name. You got the new 42 and filament sensor already working again. DMU, the ones I got. Cool, thanks. Yeah, I've got them installed already. Like, everything is good to go. I just went from 2 tool heads down to 1, and everything was working before. So we kept the same hardware, same config relatively. I just had to take it from an IDEX configuration in RadOS down to a hybrid version, and we'll do that. But I do have a spare from the other tool head, which also gave me another Orbiter 2.5 with filament sensor, and then I also reclaimed the tube. So I've got a ton of spare parts now for another build, which is great. But I'm glad you got yours back and going. Currently using X-Acto number 11 blade. Don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, I do have this already downloaded, so let's take a look at this one instead. Now, this is my sorry, try to get my Windows good to go over here. Let's do it this way. Animal style. Bite the wires and strip them just right between the teeth, right? Bite down on it and yank. Yeah, don't do that. I just need a pinout. Where is your pinout? Here we go. So it looks like the heater bed is what would be the top one on the board based on its orientation. What side? I guess green is the positive then? Does it mention that up top? Yeah, here we go. This is better. So heater bed. Let's do it this way. Let's do that. So heater bed is the top one. Negative is at the very top. And we'll do it that way. Kill the print, sell the bike, get a Core 1. Aaron, if I sold the bike, I would likely not get a Core 1. Although I might. I don't know. I would much rather, if I sold the bike, the only reason I'm really considering it is because, I guess, two main reasons. First is I don't ride as much as I would like, but that doesn't mean I won't, because I could potentially be moving soon. And when I do that, I just thought about this. I should probably take this out of the way for clearance reasons. I might ride again a lot more if I move, when I move. But I could use the cash. So, I don't know. It's a battle. It's like anything else, right? You have a hobby that you love, but you don't get to do it as much as you would like. So you have to consider, do you continue holding on to that hobby and all of the things that come along with it? Or do you pass it on and allow someone else to enjoy it? I haven't decided. Just trying to find a screwdriver here. That'll work. No, not a Core 1. I need the U1. So, GTR Dad, I like the Core 1. Sorry, the U1 and the Core 1 for that matter. I'm skeptical of the U1. I don't know if it works as advertised. I'm still nervous about supporting Snapmaker, is what it comes down to. I've seen some people have really good experience, and from what I've seen on the internet, people are not having trouble or anything like that. It seems to be doing well. I don't know. I'm still skeptical. And then number two, I don't do a lot of multicolor printing like that, or multi-material printing for that matter. So another reason I took the rat rig down to a single tool head instead of just having IDEX. Those things just don't align with the type and style of printing that I do. So having a U1 would just be a little bit of a novelty for me. But I'm not against it. I would get a U1. Again, it would need to make sense, and I need to see more reviews on it before I buy in. It works in a pinch. U1 more like something from Form Labs at this point. Too many hobbies, yeah. For its size, it's very rigid. Yeah, so I think the Core 1 is a little bit more useful to me simply because my focus normally is just making it work. And the Core 1, while not the fastest and the smartest and that kind of thing, it does simply just kind of work. And Prusa is constantly making updates for it, updating Prusa Slicer and things like that for it. And so if I can just, you know, slice something, send it over, call it good, that's more where I'm at if I'm gonna do another machine. But again, I like building machines, so if I can't build it, it needs to be a workhorse. So that's why I would lean towards the Core 1. If I can build it, I would lean towards more of a kit style printer. All right, so negative on top, positive on the bottom, on the heat bed here. I think what I'm gonna do is just go ahead and mark these. So positive on the bottom. I do have some markers that are paint markers, but I don't have it in red. I'm still trying to order that, but I keep forgetting. So we'll just mark these, and I'll paint the screws on the inside red. That's for peace of mind for later, and then we'll get the black Sharpie out, and I'll do the same for, oops, we'll do the same for the negative side. And then I'll do the power as well. So going back to my PDF, power looks like, so the one on the right is your negative, and then the one on the left is the positive. I really should get paint markers. This works in a pinch. Like that. There we go. That's cool. You can even kind of see it on camera. You already have the H2D from... Yeah, correct. I already have the H2D. Killprint owning novelty 3D printers? No! Yeah, I mean, I do like my unique, sort of different 3D printers. Don't get me wrong, but if I'm constantly tinkering, constantly playing with new things, I need to have something that is stable that can just print when I need to print parts. Because I still do print for a side hustle as well. I have the H2D for slice and print, yes. And I've been considering doing an H2S just to slice and print. But I'm waiting to see what the H2X looks like with its nozzle swapping and see how that works out. If that one is looking pretty good, I might just get one of those and hold off. You do like your Prusa Minis? I had a Prusa Mini. I couldn't get down with that. It wasn't as reliable as I really wanted it to be. I sold that off to a buddy, I don't know, a couple years ago. All right, what else? We got Nighthawk cable comes in. I could shorten this, but I really don't want to recrimp everything here. So I think what will happen is I'll put this in here and connect that, and it's just going to be laying in there like that. So that needs to go in here. And then we've got our pinda wiring that we'll need to recrimp or repin somehow. And that goes in here as well. Got a little bit of cable sleeving on it. Just want to pull that up out of the way. Yeah, I recrimped it and extended it for the Rambo board, but then I changed course and decided to do this one, and so now my crimps and my wiring solders don't really apply anymore. So maybe we can just remove that and connect this where it's supposed to go. Just want to slide this cable sleeving up to a point that makes sense, and then we'll put a zip tie on there to hold it in place. Hey, Lee Marie, thanks for the super chat. Sorry I missed you, but I just saw it come through. Thanks for that. What am I printing for a side hustle? A lot of things. A lot of things. Right now, it's a lot of Halloween random stuff for people that reach out. So it's like local printing. A lot of people know that I do this on the side, and they can reach out if they want things and stuff. So I don't have it out here anymore. It's in the house. Dang it. But I printed a 2-foot tall gag gift trophy for my boss. He wants to give this to somebody, and he asked me to print this. So that's a thing. I print like tools for maintaining aircraft, so like some pry tools and adapters and stuff like that. I've done recently like just a bunch of Halloween random stuff, decorations and earrings and things like that for the wife. She has some friends that want stuff. I've done, oh man, for the gardening community out here, a lot of plant pots and I don't know, just whatever garden crap you would want. Funny gnomes giving the middle finger, stuff like that. So a bunch of just everything from functional to funny. Yeah, but I don't have like one item that I just print and keep stock. I more do print for hire type stuff. And it keeps the hobby going. So, and then also, I'm not even gonna lie, memberships on YouTube help out a little bit. That's more of a recent endeavor, but you all keep this going as well. So thank you very much for being members. Let's see, trying to catch up. Ooh, Happy, I need a panel. If you're cutting ACM, please stay up and running. I need to shoot you a message. I want a new back panel for the rat rig, for the electronics. I want to put a fan in it for cooling, and I need to get you something. So I'll shoot you a note. Prince Molden castings for Chris. Hey, what's up, Lego Therapy? Lego Light. Yeah, I made you a Lego Light. Yeah. If you need any more Lego Lights, let me know. Gigs up. Let's see your craft market table. I don't have a craft market table with Flexi Dragons. There's somebody out here that does that kind of thing, and I wouldn't mind because, you know, hate it or love it, they sell and they make money. So if you can get away from the cringiness of it and make yourself some cash and focus on the business aspect of it, Flexi Dragons is not a terrible idea. Show up to community garden with swag. I do. I go to some community garden stuff, and that's how I get the plant pot stuff that I do out there. Give me an idea. You're gonna try that? You should. 100 hours away from being able to have memberships. Ooh, we got to get Projects in Dad's Garage some love, guys. He's only 100 hours away. Go over there and just like watch a few of his streams, and we'll put him over 100. I'm gonna do the same. Love Legos. They're some pretty dragons. There are. I like more functional things. That's kind of my jam. I don't mind printing aesthetic parts and stuff, but functional things are where I'm at. All right, so I think I could put this top bracket on here. This one is just something to retain those wires, close off this top hole, and make it look a little nicer. That sort of wedges itself down in here. Come on. A little tight on the part, so I think I'm gonna loosen this one and drop the part completely behind the workbench. Oh, so let me climb under here real quick and get that. But we do have some cool projects coming up on stream. Like I said, I'm really considering doing a members only build, and we'll release that eventually after a while, but members get first dibs on that content. And so that's tight. Members get first dibs on that content. So my plan is to do a members only build, I believe, and then from there we've still got a tool changer to do. There's another printer coming in that I don't really want to talk about yet, but that'll come in and we can do that one. So yeah, it pays to be a member on stream. Oh, don't forget, we still have a raffle that's live. If you're just getting here and have not heard about this raffle, this is your first time, you can take home this Prusawire by entering the raffle that is continually popping up as part of the chat bot. It's continually putting it up there for 3D Printing Elves. 3D Printing Elves is a non-profit that has delivered over 12,000 3D printed toys to kids here in California. And so I'm partnering up with them to raffle off this printer plus a V0. And so for $10, you get a raffle ticket, and that ticket will get you 1 entry, or you can do $50 for 6 raffle tickets and get 6 entries. So not only can you win the printer we're working on right now, but you can win a V0 that we're working on stream as well. We just did that one last week. We're going to give away filament. There's an LDO kit that'll be out there. There's like 19, 20 different prizes out there that you could win in the raffle. So go out there and get your tickets. You've only got about 30 days or so. Sorry, catching up with chat here. Best looking bottom panel on YouTube. It sure does. You doing about all the self-promotion channels. You don't think anyone actually looks at them, honestly. It does indeed. 41 likes. We're almost to 50. Almost to 50 and almost to the filament giveaway. So if you haven't entered the filament giveaway pinned in chat, do it. Unless you hate filament. Or you don't 3D print and just do Legos. I need to look at our thermistor again. See where that goes. Probably right. You need to get more videos after the fact on videos you share there. Yeah, I'm with you, Projects in Dad's Garage. There's some work to do on the backside. You do both. Doing both is awesome. Thermistor is this bottom one here. Looks like bottom right corner. Get filament print custom Legos. That's a good idea. So on the board, that one's actually labeled, so good to go there. And then while I'm here, let's see what we plug in. So there's an input output sort of in the middle of the board there. I wonder if that's where I can use for the Pi. Or will I have to use the LCD port? Not sure yet. Not sure yet. We'll have to figure that one out. I know I can at least get power somehow. Legos are fun. Kid just got that Game Boy Lego set yesterday. I forgot about that, but that is a cool kit. So they got the Game Boy one, but also they did the TV, like the NES thing as well. So they're really getting into some Nintendo lately. I think what I'm gonna do is kind of cut that about there. 3, 2, 1, go. We're committed now, folks. All right, we'll strip this off and make a better one. For these, I usually just take about 2 millimeters off the end of the wire there. Don't need very much to connect the JST. And then my connections are here. I'm getting all the tools out today. I'm just happy it's not hot in the garage lately. We've had 2 weeks now that are super nice. So I'm happy to be getting back to the good time of year. Still potential for a Friday stream, and then definitely going to do a member stream on Monday. So those that became members today, thank you to the person that gave out those free memberships, because you all now will have access to Monday's stream where we work on the inertia cube. I'll post that up for members so you can get notified sometime today after stream. I know YouTube doesn't always do the best job, so I like to do a community post, and you guys will get notified that way. Lego Therapy, do you have the new Death Star second mortgage? I could tell you right now, Lego Therapy probably doesn't have it, but he probably really wants it. He probably really wants it. And I want him to have it. Oh, Boothy's here. Nice. Sorry, I'm just, if you chatted before, I'm just seeing it. You messed up not getting Unicorn Lego. What is Unicorn Lego? I have yet to build a newer Ecto one. That's the what's it called? Ghostbusters thing. I'd like to get into it. Lego Therapy was really cool, and for a couple of months ago, he sent me a Lego kit for the Fast and Furious GTR, because I used to have a GTR, and I sold it a couple years ago after coming back from Japan. I was living in Oklahoma at the time, and so there's not a lot in Oklahoma to sustain a car like that. And so reluctantly, after having it back in the States for a couple of years, I sold it to a guy who made a really good offer on the car. And yeah, I don't have a GTR anymore. So he was nice enough to send me a kit, a Lego kit. Super cool guy. I've known that guy my entire adult life. Uh-oh. I think the screw on the bed retention is keeping this bracket from going into place all the way. So I'm trying to sort of massage it behind the screw there. Getting access is not great. Can't really see anything and can't feel it either. Alright, well, I'm going to do this a different way. I'm going to back off this screw here because it does protrude into the case a little too much. And we'll swap that out with one that's a little bit shorter. I think this one is probably a 10, maybe, and we need something a little shorter, maybe like an 8, or even a 6 if I've got one here. I'm not sure that I do. Man. I think what we can do is just back it off, not have it go in. That'll allow me to put the screw in for the Nighthawk board, and we can cinch that down after getting the Nighthawk back to where it needs to be. Ooh, haven't got in trouble. Been here for far too long. Oh no. Sorry, buddy. Not having a good time today? Are we a little bit ornery this morning? I mean, you could be out fossil hunting, Booty. You have a 69 Pontiac Le Mans. Nice. Son loves when we take it out. Yeah, I think anybody would love when you take out your 69 Le Mans. Other than for the fun of it, do you think that there would be much point into converting your 3.5 to Prusawire? I think you're right. I think it is fun. Benefit. Well, if your Mark 3.5 is working well and you're happy with it and you don't care about having full control with Clipper and things like that, then I would say no, you don't need to upgrade whatsoever. The idea behind this project is to, if you've got that old dusty machine that you're really not using and you want to kind of bring it back up to 2025 standard, you could do this mod and get a lot of those benefits. And you could use Clipper, you could use a tool headboard, things like that to really make it custom and do what you want it to do. But if none of that stuff is interesting to you, then no, you don't need to do this at all. This is really for the fun of it. And yeah, if your Prusa works, then you're probably fine. Little boats and flip. Love it. So if you guys don't know, Boothie has teased on his channel some shorts of a new printer he's calling Flip. It's a foldable 3D printer. And so if you're interested in something like that, go check out his shorts. And you can see Flip in the prototype stage. He's been sharing with me privately some updates on it, and I'm really excited for it. I think whenever it finally does come out, if it comes out, if it's ever viable, it's going to be an interesting project. So I know at the very least there'll probably be some features or a little bit of shorts content out there showing the progress. I would hope. I'll leave that to him to say, but it seems like a really cool project. Maybe you'll do it once you build a 2.4. Yeah, you could do that. You could do that. All right, team, you got about, let's say 5-ish minutes before we do this giveaway. So if you have not signed up, I need you to sign up for the giveaway. I think these can come under here. There's a hole there for something. That wire's gonna come up. I'm gonna come over here. And yeah, we're gonna have to swap all these cables, I believe. This looks like X at the top, Y, Z, and Z. So the two Z motors share the same port on the board. Rather than do that, I'm going to move the second Z to the extruder motor because we are running the tool head board, and that's going to give us independent Z leveling. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to take these connections off of here, and we're going to do a lot more crimping is what that looks like. So I'm going to save that for not being on stream. I don't want to deal with that right now. Yep, boat's getting better. Nice. I'm glad you're figuring it out. Sorry, just looking at chat, trying to keep up with you guys. Okay, I know that I need a power wire from the Nighthawk, and then I need a power wire from the SKR. So I think what I'm gonna do is do a little bit of wiring right now. I've got some, what is this? 20 gauge. This is enough for 24 volt. If I were doing mains, I'd want to use something more like a 16 gauge. But for 24 volt, 20 is perfectly fine. So this is for my SKR, and I'm going to do ferrules on here because we're going inside of this port here. So we'll strip this down to about 10 millimeters. Separate these out. Twist these up. So I'll make this cable, and then we'll give away some LDO filament for those that are here patiently waiting for that. Just do me a favor in advance and like the stream. That definitely helps me That helps me tell LDO that you guys care about what you watch, and they can continue to give away filament. I'm glad I kept all the tools out because I didn't really think we were going to get this far this fast. Hey Martin, welcome back. Nice. Something like that, and then just verifying again on the right hand side of this board. That's where our power goes, so our DC in, and then ground to be on the left. Oh, sorry, backwards. Ground is on the right, power's on the left. I marked everything earlier, but it is going to be tough getting these in there. It's very tight at the top of the case, but there is enough room to round the corner and get both of those in there at the same time. Now, once we just put some tension on these screws here. Oh, well, I have to undo them first. Turns out they were already tight. Take those all the way out. And look at those back inside. There we go. I know that's hard to see for you guys, but it's just making connections. And now the question is, where do I route these wires? Down the left-hand side of the board or the right-hand side? I don't know that there's a wrong way, but probably not easy to see this, but there are printed zip tie points on the part here down near the board, and I want to say those are probably going to be better used for the motor cables that are here, because motor cables will come up through the side, hitting all these tie down points and then connect to the board. So probably best if we keep power wiring on the right side here, and then that can go right straight down to our Wagos at the bottom. So we'll do something like that. There are no zip tie points to keep that in place, but what I can do is do a little bit of VHB and a printed zip tie point right here, and that'll help me manage that wire a little better. We could probably do one here and maybe one here once we get finished, and I think that's what I'll end up doing, but clean wiring is important. We'll give ourselves a little bit of slack here. So we'll cut to about there. And I'm going to route this behind our bed wiring. Hey, Tulsa Skin. Thanks for showing up, man. Just put this behind the bed wiring and behind our thermistor as well. I just like to have the power wiring tucked away, and then any of the accessory stuff like thermistors or fans or any of that, that can be on top of this power wiring. You could definitely do ferrules on the end of here, just make it nicer, but it's not required. The Wago can take unterminated wiring as well as terminated wiring. So again, we'll make there's really no right or wrong way here, but we'll make this side positive. So I'm just mark this red with my Sharpie, and we'll do the other one as black for negative or ground. And I do this on all of my Wagos just to make it very clear on what is what. All right. We'll pull those apart a little bit, and then again, we'll do 10 millimeters-ish on the wire stripping. We'll add a couple terminals, and we'll give away some filament here. I need you guys to get signed up for the giveaway if you're not on the giveaway, because you're about to be SOL. All right, do the same thing as before. Like that. And the other one here, it's just a simple insert into the Wago, and we're good to go. I'm going to run power from the power supply up behind the Raspberry Pi. I'm sorry, the Big Tree Tech Pi, and up behind the Wago mount. So we'll have a power lead coming from the front here, from the back to the front. And so these two inside ports are what I'm going to use to deliver that power, which means my two outside ports are the only ones available. And that should be enough to get power to the board itself and then power to the Pi itself. There'll be no additional 24 volt sources of power. But these fit down inside. Oh, they're too big. So did I screw that up? I think I might have. So I've had it where I can do terminals on here and they connect just fine, but for whatever reason these are slightly too big. I should have tested that first. Feel like a dummy. So now we have to cut that. Luckily we put some extra wire on there. Yeah, we're gonna have to cut that and recrimp. That's my bad. Oops. But here's the thing. You mess it up, consider it practice. You need some wire stripping practice. Some wire crimping practice as well. Twist the leads. And what are we out, like 4 cents in parts here? We'll go negative on that side, push that all the way in until it stops, and then close that port. And we'll do the same over here, so just pull that away. And put this one, we'll put this one in here. All the way in, pull, and then just give it a little tug to make sure you're good to go. Sweet. Yeah, we'll just separate those a little bit. Cool. And we could still tie it down with a tie down point right there. All right, what do you guys say we give away some filament? I'm needing a break from the wiring here. All right, let's do. If you guys are not in the filament giveaway, you need it. You need to get in there now. You're gonna miss out. All right, let me get set up here. Click the link in the pin chat. Hey Rajdi. Steve Machado saying, yeah, he wants to win some filament. Love it. Okay. I need to find the right window, this one. And it looks like we have, let's see, how many people do we have in here? 34 responses. I'm seeing 58 people watching, so I guess 24 of you don't want any filament at all. Fine with me. Whatever you guys want. So let me pull in. That didn't work. Let me pull in your data. Do new one, create, view. All right. Got everybody pulled over from the UK, so no point. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm working on it. If there's any filament sponsor people out there, if you have a hookup where we can do a worldwide giveaway, I would love to participate. So let me know how I can do it. You got some files to give me? Oh, that's for Happy. Sorry. Bots, I tell you. Or not in the US. Yeah, not in the US. Did you make it? Questionable choices. Let me see. Did you make it? Yes. You were the last entry at 9:40. So like right now. I'm going to close this in about 10 seconds. Good luck, everyone. Yep. LDO, we thank you for letting Kill Friends give away filament. That's right. Thank Jason at LDO for offering it up. But that is time, so we're going to close this. And if you did not get in, sorry, you missed out. We had 2 entries since I last said something. First person in was Steven, so good. When I finish the venture, we shall see. Love it. And then last person was Shrimp Father Martin. Last person to get in. If you win, please send it to Reth. Okay. Reth uses 2.85. But we'll see what happens. Let me get your names over. LDO makes some very nice filament. Loved every spool I've had. Same. I've got two spools right now of the, what is this? Glitter Turtle Green. So I've got 2 of these for something. And then I have their Lemon Lime that I built portions of the antithesis out of. Can I identify as Red Jr. if he wins? You can identify as whatever you like, LTX Designs. Alright. Sorry, you guys are distracting me. I need to give away filament right now. Let me get the wheel up here. And put you on. And we'll get you to this. Alright, so this is from last time. And there's our new names in there. And how many times are we going to shuffle it, though? What do you guys think? I do like that the wheel is getting more full every week. So thank you guys for subscribing and participating in the giveaways. 8. Tin Talon says 8. 0. 0 spin? Oh, we have never done 0 before. A couple of 12s and a 14. 73. 73 for posterity. That number means something to me. 73 it is. 10. 20. 30. 40. 50. 60. 70. 1, 2, and 3. Because Lego Therapy wants it. And spin. How many printers do I have? It's a hard question to answer. In various stages of working, roughly 24. Patty Ruxpin, you hacked my stream. You hacked the giveaway and somehow got yourself some LDO filament. Patty, I need you to tag me in chat so that I know you're here. Yeah, Robot Overlord, you were right there. I'm with Shrimp Father. This is so rigged. We should just ban Petty Ruxpin from all the streams. Petty, if you don't enter, you don't win. Love it. You're not wrong. Can't win if you're not here. So, Petty, like always, you got 69 seconds to tag me in chat. And you're already about 20 seconds in, so banned. Wonder if he plays the Super Bowl. If I was that guy, I would play every lottery. Holy crap, he wins everything. I'm surprised he didn't win a Core 1 at 3D Printopia. But here's the thing, he hasn't mentioned anything in chat yet, so we may remove him and do another spin. But you've got about 30 seconds, buddy. Bang banned. Oh man, illegal. That is impressive. And coming up on 15 seconds. He's waiting until like the last second to hit the chat. He probably punched. I haven't seen him chat in a while, so he's probably not even here. Straight to jail. Building suspense. Hey, charmingly Chimera. He's going to chime in at 68.5 seconds. Well, he didn't, and his time is up. So, removing him from the wheel. It was probably rigged and illegal anyway to have him on the wheel, so he's tired of winning. Tired of winning. He's laughing while listening. Well, he missed out. So, were they giving away a Core 1 at Printopia? So, John, what Zombie Hedgehog was saying is that he won a Core 1 at 3D Printopia because he won it on the Death Racers event. So, I guess he won the event and took home a Core 1, which is awesome for that guy. I'm super jealous. He has no more room for filament. Neither do I. Yeah, so let's spin some more. What are we doing? Zombie was the champ. There you go. Also, during the Prusa talk, they gave away a Core 1. Dang. I really wish I could have gone. Several Core 1s. Man. I know they just dropped the price on the Core 1s as well. I think they are $150 cheaper than normal. So normally a kit is $949, I want to say. And I want to say they took another $150 off that. So $799 is what you're looking at for a Core 1 right now, which is actually obtainable. Actually obtainable. All right, I'm seeing some 7s. Petty already won the lotto, so he doesn't need filament anymore, so he's already got the Powerball. 7. Trying to clear out inventory. Yes, says Liz. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I'm doing a lot of the K2 Kevin rugged stuff. Clear out some inventory, make some space. We'll see. Didn't need to claim. I'm seeing some 7s. There's an 8 and a 4 from Robot Overlord. I'll tell you what, let's do 4. I want to give Robot Overlord a chance. There's 4 spins. Core 2 coming soon? Maybe. If it is, I don't know about it. And that would be really cool. If they took the Core 1 and made it a 300, I'd be on board with that. Core 1 is 1400. I think, is it 1300? Spectra, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But yeah, I agree, Liz. Rugged is worth the filament. I've already got their little like tool organizer thing, and I'm loving it. It looks like Kenneth Davis. Kenneth Davis, are you here? You want the Core L? You paid $1,400 direct from Printed Solid? Jeez. Just picked up the kit from the factory. Man. I wonder if that's with like taxes and tariffs and all that kind of stuff included. But I was looking at the Prusa site. I want to say the kit was cheaper than that, but with shipping and tariffs and stuff, maybe it is roughly $1,400. Again, that was my best guess on what I thought I knew. Ken Davis, are you here, sir? I'm not seeing you. Oh, there you go. I see you. Also rigged. Oh, man. All right, Ken Davis, you're my guy this week. So what I'm going to do is send your email over to the good folks at LDO, and Jason and or someone on his team is going to get back to you with your shipping information. So you need to provide that. Tell them what color you want. So go to any of the resellers, pick out a color that you want, tell them that information and your email address and probably phone number, and they'll get you some filament. If that doesn't happen, reach out to me, and I'll reach out to Jason to get you what you need. Congratulations. Kenneth Davis is our winner this week. Oh, Hadron, you crying? It's just Petty's real name. What's this rugged thing being talked about? Custom board choices. 1 second, and I will show you the thing that I just printed today. So, here it is. This is a design from, this is a model from K2 Kevin, and it's designed to have just like insertable trays and boxes and things. And so you could take your hardware from, you know, all these separate containers, put it in smaller containers and put them in here. but it uses Gridfinity, so you can stack them top and bottom. You can add all sorts of accessories, and so if you have a workbench sort of setup like I do, you can have these all across the back of the setup and have all your hardware right where you want it. There are versions with drawers instead of slots like this, so you can put tools in there, anything Gridfinity. So K2 Kevin on Maker World has an entire collection of rugged things like this, and it's great. If you have filament that you don't really plan on using for a project and you just want to use up, this is a good project to use it on. This one, though, took me just this 12 hours on the X1 Carbon. So it's a lot of printing. But hey, if you have printers that are idle, this is a good use of their time. Let's go back over here. Speaking of Gridfinity, this is a Gridfinity kind of enclosure case mount top here, so you can keep a couple of items on here. And we'll add that onto the print next. John is trying CoreXZ next. ASA. Yeah, I've never tried CoreXZ. You have to let me know how that goes. Check is in the mail. K2 Kevin, I don't mind supporting people that do good stuff, and you make good stuff. So, K2 Kevin of Makerchip fame. All right, this one goes on here, so I probably should not have put. How does that mount? Oh, it's a different top. Okay, so I can do either the top cover simple, or I can do this. So I have a choice. Did not know that. Okay. Well, luckily I printed both parts. We'll just take this one off and add the Gridfinity top on there. And I could throw this one in the box for the winner. If you want to not have a Gridfinity top, you can use this top instead. You use your favorite colors. You use CoreXZ Prime PLA and printed great. Yeah, that's the cool thing. I think these days, a lot of the different filaments that you can get over the course of time are relatively good. I mean, I think 5 years ago it was tough to find actually good filament, but nowadays it seems a lot easier than before to do that. So I think what I'm gonna do is just put these down through here first and pull that through. There's a small cutout to accept that. And this goes down through this giant hole. And like so, using the same two holes that we had before. Very cool. Even got a little Boron logo on there for you. Just 2 and 3 screws to the top here. I think you could get away with 6s if you wanted to. Like that, because the 8s that I'm using protrude into the case a little bit, so you can get away with 6s if you want something a little nicer. So that goes on like so, and then the top little case here, once you move your wires out of the way, this will go like that, and now you have a little storage box for some Gridfinity, whatever you want to use. The holes here, you can do screws, or you can do magnets in here. And then you can do magnets in the little boxes that you print. So really your choice on what you want to do with that. But I'll give you this one as well. And you can use this if you don't want the Gridfinity, and just swap it out. Just need a couple of bits of hardware to hold this in place. You can also store your extra Revo nozzles. You can. That's the cool thing about Gridfinity, is that you can make whatever storage container compartment things your little mind can imagine. I got into the Gridfinity a little bit on the toolbox that this is sitting on top of, but then I kind of got away from it, and I need to return and just really organize my life. That's what I'm trying to do by printing the K2 Kevin boxes and trays, trying to get my hardware organized, because once I swapped out workbenches, I lost all my storage drawers. I had 2 drawers that I could pull out from below that are not there anymore. And so all my hardware, like these little plastic cases, I want to get rid of this and have my hardware organized. And this is not working out. Maybe I need a longer screw in here. Let's see. Yep, that is not long enough. I think the whatever you want to call it, the countersink is either not big enough, or the head of that hardware is too large. Let me try and make this bigger real quick. We'll get the chamfering tool out again, and I'll add a little chamfer here. See if that allows that hardware to get through. There we go. But just a little bit of extra material there that we had to remove. And now that grabs like it should. Still got 48 people hanging out. How many people have entered for the raffle so far? I'm not allowed to compete, unfortunately. But I'm curious, how many here have entered and are supporting 3D printing elves? I know it's US only, and that's a challenge for a lot of folks that may or may not be here. But you can donate as well if you like. John is participating. Awesome. Robot Overlord is going to participate. You say you will be, which means you haven't yet. Put you an air tag in that box, and then you can find it on a plane. Yeah, you could. You could. I don't think I'm going to use the cover. I ended up buying the cover as well because I thought I might need it. And I think that can still go on there if you want to, but I want to say they give you this cover. Maybe that goes here and you need it anyway. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Okay, that's your lower cover, and you have this upper cover as well. All right. You have not yet need to look at it. You bought 12 tickets, Questionable Choices. Thank you guys so much for the support. That helps kids all year round. The 3D Printing Elves team has given away something like, I don't know, over 12,000 toys to kids this year. And they need that support, right? Like, filament is not free. Printers need maintenance, and printers are not free. And I've been very lucky to sort of hang out with Reth a little bit, and Born Widow a little bit. And they are awesome people that do an awesome thing. So really trying to push their raffle here. And you guys get a little something on the backside. Either a printer or a filament or something. And I'm even giving away some of my stock as well as one of the things. So you'll get, I think we're doing packs of 3 kilos of filament for that. I'm just trying to get organized here. I need to run power from over at the main board. Sorry, not the main board, the PSU over to the main board. We could do a single power cable to our Wagos and then use those to split off and go where they need to go. Because I need one for the Pi and then, yeah, the main. So should be good with that. We can do a little bit larger gauge. So I think over here I've got some 18 gauge. We've got some 18 gauge left, but it's white and blue. I want to keep the theme that we're going with here. So let me get out some different cable. This is 14 gauge is probably a little big, but if that's all I have, then that's what we'll do. Let me check in here. Yeah, looks like we might go with 14 gauge because that's what I've got. Wunderbar. Especially if he only uses 285. Dude, that stuff is hard to find, but I tell you, they do. What did he tell me? I was just up there last month. I think he told me they go through something like 50 kilos a month or something like that. Like it's not an insignificant amount. Yeah, it's quite a bit. All right, I think I can reuse. So I made a lot of this wiring originally for the Einz Rambo, and now it doesn't really make sense. So we could probably eliminate this. So this mess is what I was trying to get away from when we're swapping to the tower that we're using now. And so, as you can see, this is not super nice, and I couldn't give it away this way. So we can remove the Wago connection down here, and remove a lot of this stuff. But instead of just tossing it, I think I can reuse some of this wire. This is the same wire that we use for the main board. We can use that to power the Pi real quick. So I think I just take some of these. Actually, let's remove it from the PSU. Yeah, let's do that. Let's take it off the PSU side here. Oops. Trying not to damage this. There we go. Just let that sit like that. Sweet. Let's take this off because that'll be a little easier for me. The questionable choices. I think he uses a lot of 285 because that's what he has. I don't know that it's mandatory. I think he would like to use 175. It's more common. You can get more colors and things like that, but it's got so much of the 285 that you can't help it. Like, you have to use it. Right, yeah, so these two can come off. Alright, this can come out of here. There's one. And this set here. I think I might have used ring terminals on there, and that's why it's not. Yep, that's why it's not coming out. Good idea to use ring terminals if you got them, but not always the better choice. Stop it. Go to your home. It's our longer cable, and I think even though it's longer, I still don't know that it reaches all the way where we need it to go. So I may have to remake it anyway. Alright, so that is that. Now I can remove all of the extra wiring here with just 2 screws, because those go into the Wago nuts that we have in place. Got a couple zip ties here, so we'll snip this guy. Like that. And those are coming out already. It's great. One more. And there. So we just removed that entire wiring stack in one go. Alright, that already looks better. Now these are the panels that I printed to cover up a lot of the undercarriage type stuff. I just need to route some of this wire. This is just a tie-down block here and here that I use to just keep control of all the wiring. Let me measure out this cable. Let's move some stuff. This is the cable we took off. If I stretch that across, I think I can get to the... I think I can get to where it needs to go. So to try that out, because I don't want to, you know, waste hardware and stuff if I don't have to. I'm sorry for getting my head in the way here. Yell at me in chat if I block your view. I don't immediately know that I'm doing it. I'm trying to stay away from the camera. The angle is a little tough. We almost did that backwards. That would have been bad. Let's do it this way. And the cool thing is I just need this one lead now. I don't need multiple leads for the power. You do that all the time. What, block the camera with your head? Yeah, I'm not used to it being where it is. It's directly over me right now, and so I have to sort of lean back out of the way to clear that. But it's not the most comfortable, easy thing to do. Okay. And then with all these motor wires hanging out, I love detachable motor wires. I wish this had that. So wish this had that. What am I knocking off now? Okay. Just knocking off stuff off the workbench. Okay, so this is that same wire. I think there's enough room in there to just route this up behind everything and out the top. If it's too short, it's going to be too short by like, I don't know, 5 or 10 millimeters. It's not ideal, but I think I can go this way. Let's try this. Move you, move this way. Alright, that's gonna barely be fitting there. We got lucky. We got lucky, boys and girls. It's like barely big enough. And see, this is what I was talking about. This does have ferrules on it, but I think the diameter of these orange ones are slightly smaller, so it allows them to insert into the Wagos than the white ones that we had used before. And that was our initial screw up there, is using the wrong size. So this one goes like so, and it'll fit down in there enough to be able to grab that. Or it makes me look like a liar. If not, I'll chop this one off too and see if we can make it happen. No, it's not staying in there. I wonder what the deal is. Yeah, it's these terminals. We're gonna have to pull it off. Really don't want to remake the cable, so I hope this is long enough to do it. Man, what's going for almost 3 hours. We'll do another 20 minutes on whatever we got here, and then I'm gonna turn you guys loose over to Steve. We'll try to raid into Steve. West 3D, KB3D packages are exciting to see. What'd you get? Orbital filament runout sensor showed up. Nice. Yeah, I have an Orbital sensor down here, but I haven't used it on anything yet. I think because I have the extra, we've got the extra orbiter here that we took off the rat rig. This has a CNC bracket on it that I don't know I'll be able to use. But I do have an orbital, and this does have a filament sensor, so just completing the package with the whole thing, I'd be very interested in doing that. I just need to find the right project for it. Like I said, there's a couple of projects in the works right now. I'm just waiting for things to come through to get prepared for that. But once that happens, I'll definitely be doing some cool stuff on the channel. There are 3 different machines inbound right now. One will be a members only. So again, if you're not a member, I would encourage you to sign up if it is in your heart to do so. The other 2 we can do on stream. Oh boy, I'm trying to make that turn there, but the wire is just not participating. And in fact, for my members, I'll let you choose which of those 3 printers are members only, if that is something you want. But depending on what you choose, it may be delayed. So, we'll see. All right, little guy, I need you to work with me here. Insert all the way in, clamp down, and now we're good to go. Ooh, that's the thing. If you don't put these wires all the way in before you clamp them down, they will come right out. And I know I'm blocking everything you're trying to see. I just have no choice based on how this thing is laid out. All the way in, clamp down, and we're good. All right, sweet. So that is that. I think I'll move this one over, that way we're consistent in what goes where. So on the main board itself, I'm using the 2 center pins, and for the Pi, we'll use the two outer connections. So those are good now. Unfortunately, all this wiring here that we took off is all 14 gauge. I don't need to use 14 gauge to power a Pi, but I will recover all of the Wago nuts here. I'll just pull these out of that. Unfortunately, we'll get rid of this part, but we'll save all the hardware. For my Pi, I still got my 20 gauge here, and we'll get a short length of this. Starting the electronics bay. You gotta do some building on the Rook 2020. Nice. Adam, what do you think about the additive? Adam, what do you think about the Rook so far? I've been on the fence about something like that because aesthetically it could use some work. But I get it, right? It's meant to be a affordable 3D printer using spare parts and whatever, and this is not a knock on that designer at all. I think Rohan does a decent job at getting people excited about affordable 3D printing, which is the gateway to building printers, right? Everybody's got to start somewhere, and not everyone can afford to do a $1,500 machine. And so things like a Rook are very approachable and customizable for a lot of folks for a lot of reasons. I get that. It's not exactly my style, so I've been on the fence, but I'm curious. I am Rook curious, I'll say that. Rook curious. But I'm also looking at their, he does a few other ones too. Simple Core, I know Happy did a Simple Core, and he liked it. And so I'm kind of curious about a Simple Core. Okay, so there's that. And this doesn't need to be very long. This is just going right here to the pie, so maybe 8 inches long on this guy. I've been watching and learning from Steve Builds and others for years. Additive Atom, I think a lot of us kind of grew up doing that. Loving the build. It's your first custom hard. It's hard mode for your first, since you're working off the step files. Yeah, but hard mode will teach you a lot. I mean, if you really want to get hard mode, you could do like a V0. That's pretty hard mode. Actually, there's a small gap that I'm gonna run this under. Just make it look a little cleaner there. Pull that down. And then from here, we can strip these out, put some ferrules on, just like we did for other things, and finish up the wiring on the pie here. And we'll chat and chill for a little bit before I turn you loose over to Steve. All right, a couple more of our ferrules. Let's do some of these smaller orange ones, I guess. Also doing it on stream, aka doing it live. Heck yeah! I need to come over and check out your channel and catch your stream. When do you plan to be streaming? You have a date, time? If you have a date and time, I'll do my best to be over there and support, man. And I've already done the same on the pie. These are already marked with a Sharpie, which is which. So, getting this connected in there, probably going to need a tweezer. And then let's make sure that those are already loosened. This is probably the best feature about the Big Tree Tech Pi, is being able to run 24 volts. It really cleans up your wiring. Less modules to have all over the place, and less different levels of voltage going all over the place. In my opinion, that's kind of the downside of running anything 48 volt as well, is because now you need a separate PSU with separate wiring for all the things, so it just makes the build a little more complicated. Yeah, that looks good. Let's try this last one here. 3 p.m. Pacific in about 5 hours. Cool. I should be able to make that. Are you planning to do 3 p.m. PST every week, or is this just a one-time deal? I think I'm interested. 3 p.m. is usually when I try to come out of the workshop, get out of the garage, and go back in the house and just kind of hang out with the family in the afternoon. Because I'm out here a lot, I'm not gonna lie to you. If we've got nothing going on, I'm probably out here almost all day Saturday. And then, of course, Sunday I'm out here doing this stuff. So I'm sure there will come a day where I am not able to be here because we got family things that we want to do or whatever. And that's just part of it, right? This is not life. This is just finishing up projects and talking trash with people. Gonna move this guy up here. This is just a 3D printed, what's it called, tie down point. And it's like super tight. So let's put some pressure. There we go. And that'll help me secure that wire there to the frame. I need to print one more for over here. I didn't do that very well. These big ones can go away. I don't need these big ones anymore. So things I need to print. I need to print a couple more zip tie points for the frame here. And That's just to help clean up the wiring. And then I could 3D print maybe one tie down point here in the center and just put that on with a little VHB tape. And that should work out well for that. But you can already tell that we have really cleaned up the wiring on this thing. Now all I've got is the one wire going across to provide 24 volt power to the opposite side of the machine. And then you have 3 motor wires coming in for your X, Y, and Z axis. So that'll be much nicer than the mess that we had before. We had a Raspberry Pi and a daughter board sitting down here. Didn't really care for that. So we had all that wiring coming through, all the power wiring coming through, plus motors. Not a good look for me. And so I think most of these are going to reach just fine. Y-axis definitely reaches. That's super long. This one may have an issue with. This one is very short and not long enough at all. So we will have to extend the wiring on this guy, unfortunately. That's why I like the detachable motor wires, because I can just unplug that, buy one that's longer, plug it back in, and I have a longer cable. For this, I've got to modify the wiring on it because it's internal. And that's unfortunate, but it is par for the course. It is par for the course. So I'll get some of that work done as we go over to Steve Builds. But let me finish up answering some questions and talk a little trash. Adam, yeah, Pez, Liz, right into Additive Adam. And Additive Adam, you're on Twitch or are we talking YouTube? Sorry, I'm not familiar. What are those feet on the Prusawire? These are random, what are they? Random feet that I found on Amazon. I wish I had a name of them. Let me see if I can find you a link. 1 second. Let me get you a link and I'll drop that in chat for you. These feet work on 3030 or 2020, depending on the size of the T-nut that you put in there. I want to say it comes with both, but I don't remember. So let me get you a link, and then hopefully that will answer your question. So I'm just going back to my Amazon history a little bit. It's been a while. I ordered these quite a while ago, actually for this project. But it's been a little bit. Doesn't have them in here for some reason. All right, I'll tell you what. Let's see if we can find it. Here it is. They are from Facetic. And they're called Prusa i3 Ender 3 anti-vibration feet pad for 2020. But it looks like it comes with both hardware for 3030 and 2020. So yeah. How do I'm trying to figure out how to share this. Sorry, man. They don't make it easy to copy stuff. Where's the share button on this? Sorry, I'm almost there. Where is the share button? Share button, share button. I don't know. I'll tell you what, we'll just, there it is, got it. And Copy, and here, let me drop this in chat for you. Done. There you go. There's your feet. Shameless plug, Killer Prince is going to be hanging out with us on Tuesday night on Unspooled. Yep, absolutely. Thanks for the double tap. We were talking about that a little bit earlier, and talking about the podcast and all that stuff. So get to hang out with Layer by Layer and Moji 3D on the Unspooled podcast this Tuesday night. So tune in for 100% more Killer Prince. So yeah, folks, we're gonna wrap the stream there. I've been going right at about 3 hours. Thanks for the reminder, Layer by Layer. Out of Adam, hopefully that feat link will get you to what you need. Thanks for everyone for participating. We still got 34 people hanging out on the stream, so thank you guys for going the long run here. So it's been really cool getting the Prusawire a little bit closer to being done. We got some wiring to do, and then figured out 97% more. Sure, I'll take that. I'll take that. So thanks for hanging out, everybody. See you guys on Tuesday on the Unspooled podcast, and then potentially Friday for another stream. Definitely Sunday we'll be here. So Jason, appreciate you. Thanks everybody for hanging out. See y'all later.